So as you guys know, yesterday the Black Ops Cold War Alpha was released on PlayStation with a bunch of different maps, bunch of different game modes. I streamed it a whole bunch yesterday on Twitch, and I'm actually going to be streaming it tonight again as well. So if you want to check out the live stream, it's the first link down in the description. And tonight I'm actually going to be doing an open lobby, in other words, playing with you guys. So if you want to play some games with me, check it out. It's the first link down in the description, and I should be live pretty much all of tonight if you guys want to check it out. But that's not why I'm making this video. The reason why I'm making this video is because yesterday, normally when a game like this gets launched or a beta comes out, something along those lines, it starts trending on Twitter. But Black Ops Cold War Alpha did not start trending on Twitter yesterday. Instead, what did was SBMM. In other words, skill-based matchmaking. And I think there's a good reason for it, and that is what I wanted to cover today. Now, this is a pretty charged topic. Some people believe one thing, others believe another. What I wanted to do is give you all of the information kind of in one video, and then by the end, I'm going to give my opinion, and then I want to hear yours. Now, before you just go and spurt off your opinion in the comments, I'd really love if you just watch the whole video first and then give your opinion, because I'm going to try to cover both sides of the argument, because there are two sides of the argument. But I just want to be clear that this is going to end up being my opinion, and there is really no way to give solid evidence about the Cold War's Alpha skill-based matchmaking, as there's no way to track people's kill, death, win-loss, or anything like that. This is just an opinion, but it's an opinion that I think a lot of people in the community have, so I think it needs to be talked about. So we first need to start by saying what skill-based matchmaking is. Now, believe it or not, people don't like to acknowledge this, but skill-based matchmaking has been in Call of Duty for a very, very long time. In fact, as long as I can remember. And a lot of people would disagree with this, but what I will say is skill-based matchmaking has changed. Back in the day, even going back to Call of Duty 4, what skill-based matchmaking was matching you with players of similar level to you. Not necessarily skill level, but level. So if you were level 55, you would get matched with a lot of players around level 55. It would be rare for you to find players of level 1 to 10. Those players would always be kind of playing against each other. And that's the way it was in Call of Duty for years. For simplicity's sake, we'll call that level-based matchmaking. Now, I don't necessarily consider that to be skill-based matchmaking. Yeah, generally speaking, the people with higher prestiges and higher levels are going to be better than the lower ones, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's true. Sometimes people can just play the game for a really long time and still be balls at it. But what skill-based matchmaking is, at least to me, is when you start implementing things like win-loss, score per minute, kill-death ratio. And over the past few years, this is what Call of Duty has leaned more towards. Now, you may be wondering why they do this, and it's relatively simple. They want people to be able to pick up the game and do somewhat well at it no matter what their skill level is. And I understand that. You don't want someone picking up the game, playing one game, and getting absolutely trounced and being like, well, I don't want to play this thing anymore. Where the problem comes in, however, is once good players start playing the game, every single game that they play inside is a sweat fest. Each player will be around your skill level, and if this is executed the way they want it, everyone in your lobby is going to have around a 1 kill death ratio because everyone is around the same skill. No one can really shine. Now, of course, there are those top tier players who can still blast off a 5 KD every game amongst these players, but those are rare. Now, I want to be straight about this right away before we dive into the further details. To me, this isn't a problem because I can't have a 5 kill death ratio because I'm playing with high skilled players. It has nothing to do with me wanting to stomp on noobs every single game. That's not what I want. What it has to do with is the game becoming boring because you're playing with the same type of players who sit on the same head glitches, using the same weapons every single game. Not because they want to, because they have to compete with these other top tier players. And that is where the problem begins. It's not that you can't have a high enough kill death or high enough stats, it's that simply the game gets boring when you play in these sweaty games over and over again. Alright, so I think that's enough of a dive into what skill-based matchmaking is and how it affects players. Now, where does Black Ops Cold War and the Alpha come into this? Well, it all started yesterday with Scump tweeting, "The skill-based matchmaking in Cold War is nuts." Pretty simple, pretty plain, pretty straightforward. And I'm not gonna lie, when he tweeted this, I disagreed with him. I thought it was fine. The games that I was playing, I was doing very well in. But as the day went on, that changed. And here is where things get interesting. The reason why I think this was such a big thing yesterday is because of how pronounced the skill-based matchmaking was. Since the Black Ops Cold War Alpha was a new game, nobody had any stats in it. Nobody could have a 5 kill death going into it. And when everyone was playing their first game and these good players were playing their first games, they were popping popping off. They were getting 5 to 9 kill death ratios. That's what I was doing. Every single game I was playing, literally every single one, I was getting a chopper gunner because I would be going on these long streaks. And if you didn't know, the way streaks work in Cold War is that the longer streak you go on, the higher score multiplier you get. The more score you get, the higher streak you can get. The very basic way of looking at it. And every single game, I was able to get this chopper gunner. But as the day went on, all of a sudden, it wasn't every single game that I was getting a chopper gunner. Suddenly, it was every third game I was getting a chopper gunner. And then every fifth game. And then eventually, I was rarely getting a chopper gunner. Maybe every 1 in 10 games. And it would be very odd if the more I played the game, the worse I got at it. That doesn't make any sense. Now, you could argue that the players I was playing against were getting better, and then they were kind of leveling out with me. But still, you'd think I would be getting better at the same rate that they were while they played the game. And all of a sudden, I looked at my kill death, and it went from a 5 to 9 kill death per game to like a 1.8 to 2.8, which is still good, but it's not good enough in this game to actually be getting this high tier kill streaks. We'll dive more into that in a second. Now, later in the day, Charlie Intel ended up tweeting out a little bit of a blurb of skill-based matchmaking, and I have to say, I'm not going to read it, but a lot of the points he makes I agree with. And then the copy paste to happen. So I believe this started with a guy named Frost. He tweeted, "If you like skill-based matchmaking in video games, that says a lot about you. You have no drive, no confidence, no resilience, no work ethic, and probably won't make it in life." Okay, this is a little extreme, but this actually went viral. People started copying it, pasting it. You saw it from people like Pamaj, Crim6, a bunch of Call of Duty pros, and it just kind of went all over the place, which one is kind of funny, and it kind of does get the point across about skill-based matchmaking. So if so many people are against this, and yes, people have been talking about this since they've added in skill-based matchmaking and changed it from level-based matchmaking in Call of Duty, why do they still have it in the game if this many people are against it? And the answer is simple. Money. Lots and lots and lots of money. You see, most people who play Call of Duty aren't in the YouTube scene or Twitch scene or anything like that. Most of them are just casual players with around a 0.7 to 0.9 kill death ratio. Having a 1 kill death ratio is actually above average. And if all of a sudden Activision can implement some sort of algorithm that makes it so that these players who have these lower kill deaths all of a sudden start doing a little bit better, can get higher kill streaks, and have more fun in game, more people of that caliber are going to buy the game. And as I talked about before, that's the majority. So yes, it's catering to noobs is what skill-based matchmaking is doing. And the reason why they're doing it is so they can sell more copies of the game. Now, remember how I said it's more pronounced in Black Ops Cold War? I think there is 2 reasons for that. First of all, I think people are actually really liking this game, enjoying it. But the idea of skill-based matchmaking being in it and hindering their play experience is something that they're kind of turned off by. And they see the potential of this game and want it to do that well. And if lessening the skill-based matchmaking or even removing it could make the game that much better, they want that. So that's one reason. The second reason, and this is the bigger one in my opinion, Black Ops Cold War doesn't work with skill-based matchmaking. Let me explain. So what I mean by this is the way that score streaks work in Black Ops Cold War is completely reliant on going on long streaks. That is the only way you're able to get the top tier streaks like a chopper gunner. A chopper gunner costs 6,000 score. And in order to get 6,000 score, you need to go on these streaks to get the score multipliers high enough to actually earn them. If you are in a skill-based matchmaking lobby, generally speaking, you're going to have a 1 to 1.5 kill death ratio, maybe a 2 if you have a good game. This doesn't give you a long enough streak to earn the highest tier score streaks. So this new system of score streaks that they've made literally do not work with skill-based matchmaking. And yeah, that's kind of how it works in Modern Warfare as well. If you're in skill-based matchmaking, you can't go on these longer streaks and earn score streaks in Modern Warfare either. But the difference is it's easier to see in Black Ops Cold War because of the score multiplier. It's just easier to see. Your score at the end of the game is lower. You don't go on these long streaks. You can't earn these score streaks. So seeing the skill-based matchmaking is easier in this game because of that. That is why I think it became such a big thing yesterday. Now, my opinion on this. So first of all, why am I talking about this? I want to change. I want to see a change in the skill-based matchmaking. I don't want these boring, sweaty lobbies every single time I play. I want to see a change. And Activision has changed things based off of community feedback before. Segregated DLC maps only to the people who pay for them is gone. DLC maps are free now. Secondly, supply drops, gone. Something the community complained about. It took years, but they're finally gone. So this could be one of those other things that we argue and win about. It could very well be. So here is my opinion. When people say that skill-based matchmaking doesn't belong in Call of Duty, they're wrong. It does belong in Call of Duty, but not the way that it currently is within the game. Skill-based matchmaking belongs in ranked play. It has been so long since Call of Duty has had a good ranked playlist. I like playing in sweaty games, but only when I want to play in sweaty games. The argument that I see all the time is that if you have a great basketball player like LeBron James, he is forced to play against other great players in the NBA. But LeBron James also has the option to go and play with friends, to play in a men's league, to play in beer league, to go and play horse for if he really wants to, or bump, whatever. But he is not forced to play in the NBA. He chooses to because he likes that level of play. Just like I would like that level of play if they implemented a good form of ranked play. Where skill-based matchmaking doesn't belong is in random public matches, when I just want to go in and have a good time. That's what video games are for, having a good time. Ranked play is for sweating your ass off and trying to be the best you can possibly be. The problem is Call of Duty hasn't had a good ranked playlist basically since Black Ops 2. And if you want my opinions on a ranked playlist, it needs to have a solo-only queue, it needs to have a good ranking system, a good elo system, and it needs to have a team-based matchmaking. So you have a different level whether you queue solo or in a specific team. That's a whole other video for a whole other day. It's been eons since Call of Duty has had that. But as far as normal public playlists, I get that there needs to be a protected skill bracket for brand new players who have like a 0.2 kill death. There needs to be a protected playlist for disabled gamers. I get that. That needs to exist. I'm not asking to play against players who literally can't move forward. What I'm asking for is a more diverse group of players to play with, ranging all the way up to a 9 kill death, but also all the way low as like a 0.7 or 0.6 kill death as well. That way there is more variance in the games that I play. That is what I want out of my Call of Duty games. This is my opinion, and if you disagree, feel free down in the comments. I just wanted to get this out there to start a conversation and so that Activision can see what we actually wanted of this. Personally, I want a great ranked playlist with intense skill-based matchmaking and a good elo system, and then public matches where I can play against a wide variety of skilled players so that every game I play is not the same. So, let me know what you think down in the comments. I might get dislike bombed on this one, so if you enjoy, if you agree, hit that like button. And if you're new to the channel and want to stay up to date on everything Call of Duty, be sure to hit that subscribe button. I don't do normally videos this controversial, but I just wanted my opinion out there. So there we go. There you have it. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Until next time, peace out.
We are reaching for the stars, but we're making this too